Hi again, I'm Ranjini Murthy, and I'm going to discuss the topic of gender equality, transformation, and intersectional feminism. Let us first begin with gender equality. There are two concepts with regard to equality. The first is formal gender equality, and the second is substantive gender equality. Formal gender equality, according to Flavia Agnes, is an approach to equality which is premised on treating all persons in a similar manner. Any differential treatment, any preference to an individual or group would constitute discrimination. To give an example, why have special seats for women? This is often asked by men who say, you want equality, why do you want separate seats? Now, so substantive gender equality would answer that the position of women and men is different, and there is not safety for women. Women have to do household work and also to do other work, so a seat for them would be good, etc. So a substantive equality approach is concerned with equal impact of the law or policy. That anybody traveling, for example, on a bus should be safe. And if women have done more work at home and are also working outside, then they need that much additional rest. So this approach of substantive gender equality recognizes that treating unequals as equals widens the disparity between the two groups. So to simply put it, formal gender equality is about same treatment, and substantive gender equality is differential treatment as long as inequalities exist. And this concept also applies to scheduled caste reservation, reservation for scheduled tribes, etc. Examples, I've cited more examples in the slide. I'm not going to go through it. Next, we'll discuss the concept of gender transformative approach. What is a gender transformative approach to development? It is an approach which seeks to address not just the symptoms of gender inequality, but to change the social norms, attitudes, behaviors, and systems that underpin social inequality. To give an example, the gender transformative approaches, for example, would not just seek to improve drinking water conditions in villages, but also ensure that the responsibility for fetching water is equally vested with men and women. And women have equal access to water for bathing and personal purposes as men. This approach entails engaging groups in critically examining and challenging gender norms. Hillenbrand distinguishes between three changes that are required if you want to bring about gender transformative changes in society. One is expanding agency of women and marginalized groups. Another is changing the power relations between men and women and different groups of men and women, and altering the structures. The government, for example, has brought in 33% reservation for women in the 1990s in local government, and later it has been increased. So that's an attempt, though it's not enough to just have quotas, it's a beginning. So, we need to think of how to bring about changes in norms, structures, power relations, and this is what gender transformative approach is about. So what is intersectional feminism? This really actually builds upon the earlier concept of kyriarchy which we talked about. which is intersecting hierarchies. Yeah. So intersectional feminism, arose out of black feminism, and it talks about multiple forms of oppression faced by women due to race, caste, gender, etc. But it goes a bit further in also recommending a praxis, an action which addresses these intersections together, of various identities. So it goes a one step more than talking about conceptually about hierarchies and how they come together. So thank you very much. If regarding this particular session you have any doubts, or you want to make additional contribution, we can talk about it during the contact time.